Oh, what a long travel day, but I'm pooped. Yes, I suppose it was an exhausting travel day, and good Lord, why do I have to remove my shoes now? Welcome aboard the Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, on this type of streaming service, with this type of star power, localized almost entirely on a luxury cruise liner. Yes. Will I want to see it? No. The Woman in Cabin 10 is a Netflix original written and directed by Simon Stone, who did The Dig and other projects, and was written by 2 other people. I want you to remember that. It took 3 people to write this. 3. The number of writers is 3. And we will count to 3, and then we will lob the number of writers into the goddamn Norwegian waters. So, the other writers were Joe Shrapnel. I think ingesting shrapnel would be less painful than dealing with whatever the fuck this is. And Anna Waterhouse! So anyway, this was adapted from the novel by Ruth Ware, and the adaptation was done by Emma Frost. Very frosty feelings that I had here. Must have been cold in that water for certain people, but I digress. Keira Knightley's in this. Keira Knightley still looks great. She plays Laura or Lo Blacklock. And they said it so fast that I thought that they said her last name is Blackcock. And once I heard that, I couldn't take the movie seriously. Unfortunately, the movie didn't help itself being taken seriously by being such a mundane murder mystery, the likes of which we've seen time and time and time again. Guy Pearce is in this. Hannah Waddingham, who looks tremendous. As well as David, Don't Call Me the Band Morrissey, as well as Art Malik, of all people. Art Malik is still alive. I did not know that. And there are some pretty people in this, and it's a luxury cruise liner where basically Laura Lowe, Black/Lock, have to say it like that, is trying to overcome a recent story that basically ended in tragedy. She wants to take this luxury cruise liner thing, and she's been invited basically to see the wife of Richard off. And because she is very, very sick, this is a way to continue their foundation's work, raise a lot of money, and help out those that don't have access to the medical care and needs that other rich people do. Okay, that's nice, but then naturally we have to have some murdering happen in this murder mystery, and we do, and basically Laura Blackcock must solve this mystery before everybody is history. There we go. Woohoo. So yeah, this sucks. This is really terrible. Keira Knightley looks tremendous. There is a fucking dress she wears where I'm like, my God, she has always been captivating. And Hannah looks great, and there are a couple other. There's Amanda Collin that is in this that looks great. Just looks great. There are some very pretty women in this. And there's not a lot else. You basically get a standard murder mystery that it's simultaneously rushed yet completely stretched out. And then it just goes balls to the wall stupid in the 3rd act. With the reveal, by the way, that is not shocking at all. It's not. None of this is shocking. It's on Netflix if you really want to see it. But if you do, please bear in mind that this is just going to really it's just going to beat you down. You are going to wish that you had just come up with your own murder mystery, possibly in a fever dream, possibly by ingesting shrapnel or drowning yourself in Waterhouse. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck anybody was thinking at Netflix. It's like, yeah, let's get star power and let's just have this. And it's only a 95-minute movie, so it's stretched out and rushed. And it's weirdly impressive how this movie manages to go absolutely nowhere, yet feel like it's trying to cover all kinds of ground on a luxury cruise liner. So I hope everybody had fun, but unfortunately this movie wasn't fun at all. It's one of those boring, bland movies of the year, possibly one of the worst of the year. Time will tell. This is a 242nd movie that I have seen released this year, so I got to go to 336 to match last year's total, which I'll probably be able to do. Anyway, it's on Netflix if you want to check it out. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So she gets invited on this cruise, and has stage 4 leukemia, fuck cancer, just want to say that. And the cruise to Norway is to basically have the thing going on where her and her husband Richard, Guy Pearce, and Guy Pearce, by the way, has just had a weird career, like, swing. He's in The Brutalist, and then he was in this. Gugu Mbathi Raw, who I pretty much said that wrong probably, but she is gorgeous. Good grief. Good grief with respect. But she also has her ex, Laura, Blackcock, has a Blackcock ex. Oh, man, that is just such a bad transition. A guy named Ben Morgan. Who's the actor? I forgot. I don't really care. Nothing against the guy, but none of the actors are really important here. There's a guy named Danny. Oh, hi, Danny. Oh, hi, doggy. Who is a bit of a musician that just shows up for absolutely no reason. I noted Kira in that dress, that ball gown dress. My goodness. And Anne is talking to Laura and basically saying, hey, I want to talk to you about something, but all this medication, the stuff, it takes it out of you. All the stuff that's going on about her speech, the speech that she wants to give, and she even gives Anne a copy of this speech. Or Anne finds a copy of the speech. Basically, Anne ends up, Anne ends up going overboard. Just want to say that. She ends up being the person who went overboard. This, by the way, is just after, while trying to avoid her ex, Keira Knightley ends up in the room of a very pretty blonde that, is all weirded out, but then suddenly is no longer accounted for. The captain, nobody knows what the hell's going on. And, yeah, basically, Anne has gone overboard. Hannah Waddingham is found passed out in the bathtub. Oh, you lush. And, yeah, there you go. Now to look for the blonde in the hoodie. It turns out Ben was taking pictures of everybody, and the blonde is found there. Nobody really wants to reveal any information. And, there are more little bits of, these various characters. The doctor, played by Art Malik, has some ties to Richard. And I know the brunette spa tech is cute. And, yeah, essentially, finding one particular clue, leads Laura Blackcock down a dark path. She finds some hair in a drain, puts it in a bag, puts it in her own drain, then sees that Art Malik has gone to her room. And boy, I don't know how you guys are, but I always worry about Art Malik approaching my room. Boy, howdy, there is something wrong with that guy. Something very wrong with a man named Art. That isn't Art the Clown. Watch Terrifier 3. Well, you might want to watch the first two, but watch Terrifier 3. So, she searches for clues. Danny sings. This thing is boring as fuck. And somebody ended up pushing her off the landing. She went to the pool. The pool cover went over her. Now she's freaking out. And she had her clothes dried up. And the hair and stuff. All this stuff's disappeared. All this evidence. It disappeared. Ben told them about the hair. And I did say, the character playing Sigrid, Amanda Collin, my. Really looks like she could just have played, somebody in like a Mad Max movie, and I mean that with the utmost respect. And Danny decides, well, you know what? This woman's clearly off her tits, Laura Blackcock, that is, so I'm going to leave. Well, then suddenly somebody knocks on her door, Laura's door, and it turns out to be the blonde. Oh my gosh, the blonde, and oh shit. The hoodie's taken off, and she's bald. It's Anne, except it's not Anne. This is a woman named Carrie that is pretending to be Anne, because Anne was going to cut Richard out of all the money and all the funding and just give the money to the foundation, but cut him out of stuff when she died, because it was her foundation, I guess. Whatever. Carrie is doing this to take care of her daughter, because they had basically come from nothing. And then suddenly about some AI software that's supposed to, make it to where You can fool people and you can fool divorce attorneys or whatever. This AI stuff is just thrown out there for 5 seconds. You could honestly zone out of half of this movie and not miss shit. Richard killed Anne, essentially, and now is having Carrie pretend to be Anne. Carrie Anne, there is no moss here. I'd like to cover her like a moss, but I digress. And Ben basically is wondering what happened to Laura to give her some of that black cock. I'm sorry. And the doctor also owes a debt to Richard, who got him out of a sticky situation of killing patients, I guess. He must be a terrible doctor. So the doctor then is watching over Laura because they find her conveniently in the boiler room, whatever, and we see Undertaker and Mankind having their battle and everything, and then the camera gets knocked out and we don't know what's going on. Deep cut for wrestling fans, mind-numbingly confusing for everybody else. And then Ben ends up basically getting stabbed by the doctor by something. It's either a combination of bleach or whatever, but he's choking Art Malik. Art Malik taking bumps at his age is a bit scary. But Ben ends up dying, but Laura rather goes overboard. This, meanwhile, is during the time where Richard and the other rich people go to this island where they're going to have this big speech, and it's going to be announced after these divorce papers and all this stuff was signed, or all these papers were signed, not divorce papers, but, money transfer papers. All this money is going to go to Richard. Laura then manages to conveniently jump in the water, get to a cabin, dry her clothes, still has a speech, gets to this thing. All this happens really quickly, by the way, within the last 15 minutes. She gets there in a beautiful black dress, because Keira Knightley is a gorgeous woman, and gets there and starts reading the speech and says, "And do you want me to say this stuff? Conveniently, and do you want me to say this?" Because I think Carrie realizes that this plan is really fucked up and everything. And, yeah, Laura speaks, basically says about this. This is Anne's speech and all this. And Richard then decides, well, the jig is up. I'm going to take Anne here, who's actually Carrie, and I'm going to go kill her. And then Sigrid suddenly is an excellent markswoman and shoots Guy Pearce. Doesn't shoot him enough to kill him, but shoots him enough to hurt him. And then Laura picks up a hammer or a heavy object from these ropes by this pier and hits him, and he's dead. And she's written this great piece and honors her ex, Ben. And I guess Carrie went back with her daughter and got a sizable thing. I don't know. I don't know. I hated this. I hated the woman in Cabin 10. It's terrible. Why can't they use the star power properly? I mean, this is the definition. It just gets some stars together and put on slop that people will watch. But holy fucking shit. So, F, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentlin. Until we go on a luxury cruise liner to Norway again, how she didn't drown those icy waters, I don't know. Happy trails to you.